Hello and welcome. So in this video we want to talk about real supply and demand, where the banks and other large institutions are most likely buying from. Okay, now I'll be showing you how I use the COT to find these levels out. All right, and this is actually a good concept for finding those zones, those supply and demand levels where you're going to see large move originate from. Okay, and I'm talking about moves that can produce for you hundreds and hundreds of pips, and I'll be showing you examples of the analysis I did some time ago on gold and silver. So I'll be showing you that evidence right here to just for you to know that what you are getting from this particular video is gold. I mean, it's so precious, you know. This is actually original stuff. You never find anybody talk about this using the COT to find supply and demand levels. You never find anybody talk about this. I actually discovered it when I started exploring, when I started using the COT data. All right, but I felt a little bit reluctant when I thought about sharing this on my YouTube channel, because most often than not, people take free things for granted. They don't see the usefulness. They don't see how precious those things are. Okay, but I am not here for those set of people. I am actually here for that 1, 2 person, 3 persons who are going to see this and just take advantage of it. Okay, and don't just take my word for it. I want you, after you go through this video, I want you to go in and into your charts, and using the COT also you can find these things out. Now I'll be giving you examples. Like I said, when I was making my training course, I did analysis on gold and silver within that course using this particular technique, and then I waited because I had to wait so that I can teach the concept properly and people can understand it, and for them to see that this is not something that I'm just framing up or bringing up after it has already happened. So I predicted the market movement in that chart, at that period, for gold and for silver, and then I had to wait for the time for price to trade into that level and react off of it. So I'll be showing you that right here, and you'll be seeing that in a moment. Okay, and then I'll also be giving you what I'm currently seeing for silver. So with that opportunity, I'll be showing you the idea, the process for finding the real supply and real demand levels where the banks are trading from. Okay, so now let's take a look at that example first, and then I will now talk to you about what I'm seeing for silver. Now the second example is on gold. Okay, so I'm showing you an example here that has yet to take place. Right here we saw a very strong move to the upside right here. See that? Very strong move to the upside. And this area here, I'm suspecting that they've been buying, and they were actually buying very strongly here. Okay, so we need to use the COT to confirm this. Now to mark this level out, you can go to the last time close candle, but I'm not going to do that because the real move actually started here. Okay, but if you want to mark out the other block, we have the last 2 down close candle right here in that range to mark out. Okay. So you mark that out like this. Now price is yet to trade into this, and this is one of those things that is actually drawing price to the downside. If the smart money is interested in that level, okay? So will price get into that area? It most likely should, and if it does, it becomes a very high probability level for gold to come into demand again and
investment rally. Now I'm actually suspecting it might happen this way, it might not happen that way, but I'm suspecting that this area should act as the level that will propel the price for gold into well above the 2000. Okay, so let's confirm this level, right? Let's see if it is actually a real demand level for gold. So this happened around the period from what time? March 2023. Okay, March 2023. So from February then into the beginning of March, we saw all of this taking place. So let's see gold right here. So this is our data for gold. Okay, this is our data for gold, and we were looking for March, the period of March. We want to see an accumulation of longs. So what do you see right here? We saw a period where we're having blues right here, which means that we're seeing a low figure for demands, but then that began to change into white coloration. Okay, now take a look at what's going on here. For we come to the shorts, but for the longs, this is what we're actually concentrating on. We want to see an accumulation of longs. By looking at the week on week, we were adding positions 4 weeks straight up. So we saw 17%, 7%, 6%, 6% added on for 4 consecutive weeks. We're still inside this imbalance right here, but I'm expecting it to move into this. Okay, because at this point I'm still expecting gold to drop lower. So for silver also, it's expected to drop lower. So gold should drop lower. Silver is not expected to move higher like that. So it should drop just as gold would drop. And also, we saw a real demand for gold. I will just pull up the chart for gold right here. So there's real demand for gold right here, which formed around March of 2023. But for silver also, it's the same thing. Okay, there was also real demand. So because these two guys are precious metals, and oftentimes they move in sync, they move together. So during the month of March, we also saw this low form on the weekly chart for silver, and a strong rally took place. Okay, and then when we go to the COT data right here on the COT, you can see that during this period there was accumulation of longs. Right, you can see that it was sometime below the normal level of buying, and then we went above it right here. Okay, and then the week-on-week rate of change for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks straight, we were actually accumulating. So they were adding positions in the longs, while the shorts, on the other hand, there was nothing exciting going on there. As a matter of fact, at some point it was kind of red here, and then moved towards white, and then blue, you know. So they were not really focusing on the shorts at that period. So just like we saw for gold. Okay, so there is a real demand down here. That's what we can say. There's real demand down here, just like for gold.
So right now, this is what like this. So right now, this is what the chart for silver and for gold looks like. First of all, let's take a look at silver. Okay, so this was that point that I marked out in that particular video, and I was pointing out that this was a real demand level. Okay, now based on what price is showing, this is a demand level because this is the last down close candle here before all this push to the upside we did have right here. And you can see the imbalance, how price moved very strongly away from that level. Okay, now so based on price, this is clearly a demand level, but then using the COT, we were able to see that this area right here, now I'm just going to go back to that, to the COT now. So this was March. This low formed around March 2023. So if we go to the COT for silver, this is it right here. So March 2023, I want you to look at this point right here is the date. So March 2023, this is it. Okay, now when you look at the numbers for silver right here, paying attention to this column, paying attention to the week-on-week rate of change right here for the longs, we can see that they were adding long positions, right? So they started accumulating long positions. You see that right here. So all these positions that were being added week by week, week after week, that was what led to that rally. Okay, so which show that this origin, the origin which is the demand zone, the origin of this rally is an area where the large institutions are clearly buying based on what the COT tells me. So that is why this is called a real demand level. And so in that video, price has not traded into the level yet. I think it was somewhere around here, and then we now had the push down into the zone, and look at the rally. So we went from, it dropped down into the level. The high of the demand zone is $21, about $21 170 and then it rose to the high of about $25 700. Now, how would you have known that it would rise that far? Well, it's very simple. You have relative equal highs right here. If you take a look at what the daily chart was like, you have these two equal highs right here. Look at these 2 months, right? The high of July and the high of August, they are close to each other and looking really cool, really smooth. So that was a very good point for you to expect price to rally into, right? So you can when you know how to find these kinds of zones, this is actually one of the things that we use our the COT for. But you know, it's very good for predicting areas where you're going to see very strong bounce from. You know, imagine what you could have done with this this kind of movement. So for gold, it was the same month that we had this demand zone, this red demand zone form for silver. That is also when we had it form for gold. Okay, so for gold, that was the area. I've already marked that out already. So that was the zone that was marked in that particular video. And you can see clearly that price was, at that time, price hasn't gotten to that level. So by the time price got there, you know, we now had this strong reaction from the zone. So we moved from that low. Okay, so let me just use the high of the zone. Okay, so the high of the zone was 1863. So that is $1,863 for gold at that point. And then gold rose as high as $2,139. Okay, so think about it. How many pips is that? That's crazy. So the example I want to show you is right here on silver. Okay, so right now what is actually going on for silver is we have this demand zone. If you look at price, you know that that's the demand zone. Okay, now price is currently trading around this area. I'm just going to keep this here for record's sake. Now I want to give you a quick disclaimer. When we identify these zones, because just like as it is with everything in Forex, there's nothing that is 100% accurate. But I tell you something, guys, this is one of the this is actually something that is highly accurate, okay, but it's not 100%. So there are times when, you know, based on the fundamentals rolling out, based on certain things, you know, these demand zones or supply zones can be removed, right? They can be removed. That is actually possible. So which is why it is very important that once you mark out demand zones like this, you don't just want to start trading them, okay, once price gets into them. You don't want to start buying them, or if it's a supply zone, you don't want to start selling them the moment price gets into it, okay. So the ideal thing to do as a trader is to find a means of confirming that level. So personally, for me, when I mark these zones as it is on the weekly chart, this is a weekly zone, okay. There are a couple of ways that you can confirm the zone. Number one is to monitor the swing formations on the daily, okay. When swing formations on the daily begin to break to the upside, then you can say the zone has been confirmed on the daily, okay. Or you can just simply rely on candlestick pattern on the daily and then look for break of market structures on the 4-hour chart, which is a very good time frame for confirming weekly zones, okay. So you can do these things to confirm the zones if they are actually holding, if there is a chance that they are holding. All right, so this is the zone I want to draw attention to for silver right here. Now I could do it for a lot of pairs, but let's just do this because I'm just trying to give you the concept, the idea. All right, so we have price trading to this area now. This zone, let's look at it on the COT data. So this is the month of November, right? So this down close candle was formed in the month of November. Both of them were formed in the month of November, actually the beginning of November, I think. So let's see what was happening for silver during that period. That's November 2023. Okay, so this is it right here, so all around this point. All right, so you can see right here that for the month of November, clearly right now they are accumulating longs, right? So they started accumulating longs. So what does this mean for us? Now that they are accumulating longs, we saw this rally took place. So it is just ideal to believe that this demand zone as shown by price and now backed up by data, COT data, has been confirmed to be a real demand zone where the big institutions are clearly buying from. They are clearly buying from this. So the next thing to do is just to wait and see what's going to happen with price, for price to confirm the level. Okay, now one thing that I can do right here also is to come down to my daily chart and see if I can reduce this zone or reduce my focus, because the zone is actually large. Okay, so if we do this, we see that this is the last down close candle for the daily chart, and we can simply mark that area out. One of the reasons why I'm having confidence that the price might trade into the zone is because we still have this imbalance within the zone. Okay, so what I'm expecting is price traded into that area, or it can even start moving up from here, but we need to see confirmations. We need to see structures on the 4-hour chart, maybe a high, probably a breakdown, and then a break above, right? So while that is forming, then on the daily chart we need to see candlestick pattern, like an engulfing, inside that engulfing, and all of this stuff. Swing formation, swing low plus engulfing, or swing low plus candlestick variation. All these are candlestick patterns that I use when confirming zones. Okay, so I'm expecting for the zone to be confirmed, and then we can now see what goes from there. So this is actually a live market, I mean real market, And if you check your chart on the day that this was actually posted or will be posted, you will find that price is still trading around the zone. All right, so it's not, this is just going to be put here up for records, and just to show you how you can use your COT to spot the real levels where supply, or where the banks are actually supplying or making demand for an instrument. All right, so if you have comments or if you have questions, share them in the comment section. And if you have anything to inquire of, you can reach me. I have my contacts in the description area. So that will be for this one. Cheers and God bless you.